got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. It's a glue and peel morning here. Gluing and peeling. Yesterday I was able to finish up, almost finish, the color separations for the ramen cats. And my job this morning right now is to just go over these with a final check to see that I look for any gross mistakes. And then paste them down. I've got a bunch of wood blocks ready at my side here. I'm going to then try and sort out which sheet should go on which block, and then paste them down and peel them off. So that's the job for the next hour and a half or so. But first, it's the check time. And what we've got, I don't think you guys can help me with this, but whatever, there's the image. And I've got to kind of give a last check to see if I've forgotten anything. Although this is tough. I didn't go through this yesterday again. What I would really like here is for somebody else to be able to pass these to somebody else and have them go through and check, but it's not really possible here. So I just a quick one. See, what we've got are sort of two types. There's one type that is going to be a wash, a flat wash. And there's other types that are smaller, spot colors. You know, this one, the blue. I've got two sort of the blocks. Some are really nice and smooth. They have lots of wide open space with very little grain pattern. And some are more difficult. There's grain knots or poorly surfaced areas. Parts with a grain that would pronouncedly come up in the print. There's just no way, we just don't have perfect blocks. So no, these blocks, this wood is wood that we, what's the word? Recycled. We recycled this wood from a workshop about 50, 60 years ago. The wood was used to make fan prints. And we were able to obtain it from a friend of mine in Kyoto, Richard Steiner. He got this wood and sold it to us. And we've planed it off and remounted it on new bases. We've got new wood now. It's the second time around for these blocks. The top surface of them was used, it was planed off, and now we're doing it again. So it's great to recycle that stuff. It just would have been thrown in a closet somewhere, never used again, or would have thrown in the stove in the old days. They just threw them in the stove. Anyway, so I got a puzzle here. I've got to figure out which blocks, like this one, for example, the smooth wide color, this sheet clearly gets the smoothest, widest, best face of wood. Then another one, like I was just showing you, the one that has just a few spots, will hopefully try and match those up with pieces of wood and match them up so that the important parts fall like this instead of in the bad area. Like I think that's a good match right there. This corner is okay. That's okay, that's okay. I think we got ourselves our first match, so let's number it up. That's sheet number 8, and this is going to be number 8. So what have I got as far as critical ones go? That's going to be carved for the wood grain, so anything would be okay for that one. That'll be critical. And this one will be the deep dark background that's important. So we've got 4 blocks that are important. Let's do those first. There's one face. Both sides are not so good on that one. Got one good face, 2 good faces. Oh, beautiful. That's the best one right there. Look at that. Classic. Absolute classic woodblock. One defect right there. 2 good faces. 1, 2, 3, 4. I want another one. Good. This is interesting. The piece of wood is very nice wood, but they were so brittle, and when we planed it, it popped out, chipped off the corner. The wood really is brittle after being in storage for 50, 60 years. Can we throw this away? No, we can use this because of course we just find an image that doesn't use that corner. In fact, let's do that first. The most difficult block then. Let's figure out which one can go on that one first. Because if we save it for the end, we're in trouble. So which one of these images has nothing in the top left corner? Or if the Kento is here, that's the top right corner. Or if the Kento is here, that's the bottom left corner. So bottom left or top right? Top right, that might be it right there. Now let's have a look at this. If that goes this way, if this comes here, if the registration marks are in this corner, there's your bad part. We are good to go. This is our block. Good morning, gang. Good morning, gang. Jacques is here today from Holland. Very nice. Your last couple of minutes before you go to bed, sir? Jacques, were you here on the stream yesterday, or did you see anything to do with yesterday's stream? We had one of those Okada-Yoshio prints pop up. Did you see that? There was a Yahoo auction yesterday. It's still open, I see now. Jacques was interested in the Okada-Yoshio prints, and he may not have seen yesterday's stream, so... yeah, he's seen them. Soka. None of them got any bids. No, of course. The paper is out. Thank you for the reminder. There's only one printer here this morning. It's Young Day Champ. And the paper is out. I did it when I got my shower this morning upstairs. So. Today and yesterday have been fun days for me in the morning. I think, did we talk about this yesterday? I don't remember. Because of YouTube. At the moment, YouTube has decided for some reason to do a special, I don't know what to say. The YouTube algorithm is heavily pushing my old Remembering a Carver video yesterday and last night. And over the evening, they got thousands of extra watches. It usually gets a few hundred a day. But last night, it got the thousands of views. And for some reason, the algorithm decides to push it now and then even more than normal. And on those mornings, after this has happened, there's a flood of comments. And yesterday, there was a huge flood of comments, and they're so much fun to read, and it's still continuing this morning. So I'll be in a good mood today. I'm not spamming you. It's nothing to do with me. I can't control this. It's all up to YouTube, you know, up to their algorithms. I'm not pushing that video. I've got no ads on it. I don't do anything. It's the YouTube algorithm system that's doing it. It sure is fun to be a beneficiary of that. You know. It's just perfect, you know. If it was 10 million views, it would be unbearable because I wouldn't be able to communicate with people. But it's just right. It's just enough views. On any given day, a few thousand views, and out of there, a dozen people or so take the time to write. So it's the perfect level for me. Looks good. Okay, last check before we paste it down. That corner is safe and clear. The area is clear. This is beautifully clean. That's going to be the deep background tone behind. When we're going to turn this into a night print, this is the block. that will print the dark, dark, dark color around the background, around the outside of the tint of the pool. So let's go. Down she goes. So I have my tools. I've got my glue. I've got my batter. Let's get started. Yeah, I don't know if there's people here who haven't seen this before. There might be new viewers here. What's happening here is we're doing the color transfer sheets. There's an image popped up on the left of the screen here. That's a Photoshop image. It's Jed's Photoshop mock-up for this woodblock print that we are going to make. Over the past few weeks and months, one of our carvers here, our young carver, Kawasaki-san, has been carving this print. She's been carving the key lines, the key block, the lines that form the lines of the image, the black lines. You can perhaps see here, there's a guy serving ramen. This is chopped into a piece of wood. That's the outline. Then in order to make the full print in its color version, we need color blocks. So yesterday here on the stream, I printed from that black block you just saw, I printed some test prints. I then colored in the areas we need for colors on the print. Again, if you see to match this, the print on the left, look at the outside, the area outside the tent, behind the three cats, down behind this stool in the bottom corner. These are going to be a dark red color, and we need a block to print them, and that's how we are going to find the areas that we need. So we have transferred the key lines onto a piece of paper. That piece of paper now gets pasted onto a new block, and another piece of wood will now be carved. This is going to happen this morning 8 times. I'm going to do this 8 times this morning while you're here, and that will prepare 8 faces, 8 new pieces of wood, each one used for a different color in the print. This one is for the background color, another one will be for the blue kimonos you see, one by one by one by one by one. We're then going to pack these up in a box and send them off to our carver. She lives in Kobe, this young carver who's doing this job for us. She doesn't work here in Asakusa with me. She lives at home. Okay, here's the backing sheet again. Because the transfer paper is so thin, we don't like to handle it by itself. We've used spray glue to put it together with a sheet of heavier paper. This is now history. Thank you, sir. And the thin paper will now get peeled off even more. And this is what long-time viewers are going to wait for now, the peel. Now let's see what kind of a peel we can get. This is another new kind of gampi we're testing today. I started a new sheet of gampi yesterday when I made these transfer sheets. And it's quite thick, and I think we are going to get a rich, rich peel. Let's see. You can see what's happening. The gampi is in layers. The gampi itself is made in layers. And we're going to peel it. We'll need to get the end chopped off here because the end doesn't peel on the part that's hanging over. So let's get rid of it. Here, a Gumpy layer. Gumpy is here. Here. The Gumpy paper itself is now splitting. Most of the body of the paper has now come off. We've left just the very faint, thin fibers of the front surface of the Gumpy paper, and that's the part that carries the image. This is now, there's no way we could measure how thin this is. There's nothing left on the surface of that wood beyond some ultra thin pieces of Gumpy fiber. The perfect way to transfer these images. And the Gumpy itself is so thin that if I had just tried to print the Gumpy on the key block, paste it down here like they did in the old days, well, it can be done, but you can see there's so much chance for variation. By keeping the Gumpy laminated to a stronger paper, we've got perfect, absolutely perfect registration transfer. Wonderful. It doesn't get any better than that. She will be so happy when she sees this. My God. 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. I know you don't want to give a perfect score, so let's do this out of 100, so you give me 99. Okay, now, the back of this is also a beautiful, this is perhaps the best single piece of wood that we have here this morning. So the most critical block, the one that has the largest, widest area of deep, rich color. This one's the largest area, but it's a very thin, thin, thin color. If there's defects in the block, it really won't show so much. So I don't use my best block for that. This is going to have the patterns. This is the lightest background tone. I think I want the red wash tone, number 4. Here we go. Yeah, these next two are the critical ones. This is the darkest brown wash, and this is the darkest red wash. These both need good blocks. So let's go. Let's just use this one for this. Number 4. What we're doing on this for the color blocks, I'm not really quite sure. There's already one block used on both sides. This morning I have 8 sheets to paste down, so we'll use 4 more pieces of wood both sides. So that will give me 5 pieces of wood both sides. But that's not all. That's not covering, there's one area I've forgotten. On her kimono in the middle at the back, there's a metallic pigment needed to be applied. And it doesn't fit on any of these 8 faces, so we'll need at least one more piece of wood, unless I can find somewhere to sneak it in on one of these ones. And then the other qualification, this is actually a bit of a test run. It's a bit of a mix between what Jed called for in his overlay and what I think might work as wood block. No hammer there. We're okay with the hammer, I think. Yeah, remember how many blocks also and how many impressions are sometimes different. There's going to be gradations on here. So some of the blocks will be used more than once. So the block count doesn't equal the color count, doesn't equal the impression count. There's different numbers here. When we're figuring out how to pay the printers, we don't do it on how many blocks or how many colors. The important thing for them is how many impressions, how many times they have to go through the process and put the paper onto the wood. And of course how difficult they are. No laser involved here. This is 100% handmade. As I was explaining just a moment ago, the key block is finished carving, and I did this yesterday on the stream. I did this yesterday. I brushed pigment over the key block, and I took this paper and rubbed it and actually printed. What you're looking at here, this is the classical technique. There's no computers, inkjets, or lasers or whatever involved at this point at all. This is carved lines printed by hand, now being transferred. When I put the key lines on the block for the first carving, that was a laser printout because Jed doesn't give me a brush drawing at the actual size. Jed drew this with a brush over in Utah, scanned that into the computer, touched it up in whatever way he wanted to, and then sent it to me. And I printed that out on a laser printer, pasted it down like you're seeing me do here. So it's Jed's original design that gets lasered. Was the hunch the moist when you print it out? No, transfers are dry paper, 100% always dry paper. That's confusing too. Our normal woodblock printmaking, once it's all finished, we're doing our printing. You've seen the videos, it's on soft, moist paper. This is not, this is on dry paper. And, important point, yesterday this room was here, humidity 40%, temperature whatever percent it was. Today we're exactly the same. If I did this yesterday or last week on a dry day and pasted them down here on a wet day or something like this, they will be a different size. We've got to maintain the same environment. The larger the prints get, it's much more critical. Any expansion on these sheets and you're a dead duck. The color behind the text, it's on here, it's coming on one of these blocks, you'll see it in a minute, hang on a second. The color behind the text is just a normal color as part of the print. Number four, double check. Oh, questions. Color behind the text. Yeah, they're here somewhere. Here's one of them. And there's the other one. This is all the carving for one of the prints Moko Hankan did sell like an hour. I don't understand, I'm sorry. Again, I'm not sure people are not understanding. There's parts we've marked in yellow here. These are the parts that will be left. If you've never seen this before, that's the wood that eventually will be left behind. All the wood that is not colored in yellow here will disappear, leaving just this yellow part raised. And when we ink it and rub it on a print, the part that you see here in yellow is the part that will transfer to the paper. I can't explain the whole entire process right here while we're doing this one part of the job. I'm sorry. This is a specific stage. this is nice gumpy. Holy moly, this is nice gumpy. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Not even any mess at the edge. Full sheet pulled off. We should sell these. Nice. Beautiful, beautiful. My God, beautiful. Okay, 3 more like this. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Now we still got 2 more big wide ones, right? So let's try and find our two best remaining faces. The other thing too, when I'm picking this wood upstairs in the storage room, Aoyama-san has been preparing a whole bunch of blocks. I have to be careful not to cherry pick. There was about 20 pieces of wood up there, and if I went through them all and cherry picked the best ones, then the next print I would be stuck, you know. So what I did was I think there was 20, not 20, 16, whatever. I just picked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 random without cherry picking. You have to, you know, discipline yourself not to do that. Because I've got some sheets here, there's some faces here that are going to be a little bit difficult to use. In fact, that's what I should do next, is figure out what I can use this really difficult face for. It's got bad wood grain, it's got knots in the middle. It's possible I won't be able to use it, but if there's a block that just has enough small colors here and there. The wood grain pattern, you know, it's okay. It'll just be chopped up anyway. I don't know. I don't really have any. I think we'll need to put that one aside, I think. Which means I've got to use all 6 of these faces. So which is the worst? This one, I guess. Oh, a stream of comments coming in the background still. Read them later, Dave. Did I refresh my flask? Yes, I did indeed refresh my flask. You will carve out the whole middle because the table is there. You will carve out the whole middle because the table is there. I'm not quite sure what that was all about. Okay, this one has a bad spot here and a really bad hard knot here, and not so nice wood grain at the bottom. So let's have a look. This one is going to be blues. There's your bad spot. Bad spot, middle of empty area, no problem. This bad spot, no, it falls on his bands. Let's see. No. That's okay. How about this one? No. Oh, we might be able to get away with it with this one. Just a sec now. This is a cartouche up in that corner. This is her purple kimono. The patterns for her purple kimono. Let's see. Yes, that falls here. That's okay. This bad spot, there's nothing there at all, and we want a nice bottom because that's the bottom gradation. It's going to come up here about halfway in the spot. This is it. Good clean part for the gradation, clear part for the purple kimono, and a nice straight corner for the cartouche. Got it. It's a puzzle. It's a puzzle. What number? Number 9. Number 9. So Jed's here this morning. Good morning, Jed-san. Okay, let's double check. Wait a minute, is that the right one? Oh, that's the different one. What am I doing? This is it. Double check it. Always, always, always double check. Cartouche, that corner, clear. Purple kimono. There will be, this is also maybe a bit, that might need a bit of explaining. If you see her kimono over the left, there's a red base, roughly there's a red base on her kimono color. Then there's a sort of bluish purplish overtone in her kimono. And then you probably can't see it here, there's going to be gold lines on her kimono. This is the block that will eventually become the purple overlay. It needs maple leaves to be cut out of it. We'll get that information later from Jed's Photoshop, but first step is we will cut the shape of the kimono first. And then once that's clear on the block, we'll paste on the pattern that he wants and we'll cut it out. I can't paste the pattern directly from Photoshop because it's critical that I need to know where these lines are. Because this is what we, the key block is carved, the color block must match. So this one later will have patterns carved on it. In fact, I'm going to make a note for the carver, Kawasaki-san. That's going to need a Photoshop later, as does the wood grain patterns and the other kimono patterns. Okay, I think we're good to go. Paste this down. Number 9, double check. It's cherry ply, cherry ply that we make ourselves. So no, we would not want to use solid cherry wood. It was what they did in the good old days. It was what they had. For us now, the cherry ply is far superior for a few reasons. The cherry they had in the old days, when many people were making woodblock prints, there was good supply. If you were willing to pay the money, you could buy pieces of cherry that had been dressed and planed and dried for years. So it was really stable wood, because the supply chain was there. You could buy stable wood. We can't do that anymore. It doesn't matter how much money. If I was Bill Gates, I could not buy stable cherry. It just doesn't exist anymore. So we do it this way. We get thin wood on plywood, and it's got two huge benefits for us. One benefit is that any given single piece of wood that we get will make more blocks. Instead of making one block that's 2 centimeters thick, we can get 4 blocks out of it by slicing it up thinner. So a good piece of wood will go farther. And the second benefit, of course, is that once it's here as a wood block, it is far more stable than a solid piece of wood would be. How solid would a piece of wood be if it would, whatever. So there's no way, it's a no-brainer. Plywood like this is just the way to go, absolutely the way to go. Whether you think that's inauthentic because that's not the way they did it in the old days, irrelevant. If they had had the technology to make the wood more stable, they would have done it. We're cooking with gas this morning. Are we ever cooking with gas this morning? She is going to be so happy, you know. It's good wood. It's good clear tracings. Just when she opens the box tomorrow morning, she's just going to go, Really, from her point of view, it just does not get any better than this. Absolutely does not get any better than this. Good stable wood, crisp to carve, no bad grain. And clear, absolutely clear tracings. Now, what's going to go on the back of this one? This is another one of the best sheets we have here. There's just one ding in it. So, what's this going to be? Where's that? I think the red. Have we done the red wash yet? Yes, that's gone. That's blue. What's this? This is 5, 6, and 7, number 3. I think we should put this one down here. This is perhaps the best place. Can we get that ding in there somewhere? Oh, I think that goes right in the face. Look at that. Okay, good to go. Number 3. Questions, questions, questions. Number three, check. And that's good. Let's do. I won't be carving this set myself. This is for one of our young carvers, Kawasaki-san. She's been working for us now for, when did she come on board? She did the first portrait series for us, or part of it. She and I did it alternately. We took turns. When was that? That was 2014, I guess. So she's been with us now nearly 5 years. We've kept her busy for 5 years. She works just for us, you know. we're really happy to have her, and she's really happy to have us. You know, we give her the jobs. We don't scream and yell at her. There's no super tight deadlines on this stuff. We pay really, really well. We pay royalties, which is never done to carvers here in Japan before. She's still getting paid for those portraits prints, and orders for the past couple of months or so, the past month or so. There's been lots of orders for not just the new subscription series, but for old series as well. Lots of people want that first portrait series, the one that starts with the wolf goddess. And she still gets paid every time we pull a new batch of prints from the blocks that she carved. She gets another royalty payment. So she's happy, happy, happy. And over the years, that's just going to grow. These blocks are going to last a long, long time. The concern is that at some point she might say, okay, I'm going to retire because I'm earning enough in royalty payments now. I don't need to carve more blocks. I don't know. Might have been a bit light in the corner with the glue there. Sure. Oh, look at these questions. My God. Have any of her prints resulted in good royalties? Yes, the first portrait, she's coining it. We're up to like 400, 450 of those. She gets a royalty now, every single one. She gets 8% of retail. She gets 8% of the selling price for every single print. The first 100 copies, our carvers get 16% of retail. 16%, that's insane. And then they get 8% of every 100 copies after that, of every copy after that. So yeah, Jetson, she's way up there. She isn't yet on things like the Yokai series. We're not past 200 yet. So she's hasn't had any extra royalties for Yokai, nor for the Loot series. But it's coming. It's coming. Pick off too much, Dave, be careful. Okay, don't switch over, here we go. One hand, whoa, wow. Oh, a new Google Street View, no, I haven't seen that. Some parquet slats peeking through a half-shut shutter. Did they take the picture while we were doing construction then? Is that the idea? Okay, one more done. Look at this. She's just gonna crap herself when she sees these. These are so nice. Okay, 4 down, 4 to go. What's how we have time? We're okay? 8:47. Today is Saturday, so we won't be getting a visit here. Cameron won't be here today. He's off, of course, on the weekends. Lucky guy. Is he watching? Who knows? Now, we've got these 4. Let's really be careful here to make sure I don't get stuck with a block that doesn't work. So let's work out the last 4 faces before I repaste things down here. Which is the most critical one? This is the wood grain, and it's really, wood grain is messy anyway, so if we hit a bad part of the block, it doesn't matter. It'll just look like natural wood grain. This one, what's number 7? Number 7 is one of the deeper washes, so that's fairly important. These blue areas are vitally important. This is a medium wash. This will be patterns. This will be a pattern for this guy's kimono and a pattern for this guy's kimono. So we can be fairly loose with that as well. So the critical one is this one. Let's get the best face here. Oh, there it is, there it is, there it is. No doubt about it. So that gets number 7. These are nice pieces of wood. That's number 7, and that's okay. Now what's next? This looks like the next best face. I think we should make sure we can get the defect one here. This has got 2 defects. It's got actual holes in the wood. So the print that's got empty spaces on it. Let's see. I might go this one. Let's have a look. That's up in the open area. Oh, if I put this in closer here, if I move it in closer, then that little knot hole is outside. That knot, that's the lady across the street that's squeaking. She's opening her shutter. She doesn't oil it like we do. But, my God, that's fingers on it. So I think that's going to be the only one for this. That's block number 8. That's 8. So that's 7 and 8. So that leaves 2 faces. 7 and 8. That leaves 2 faces for 5 and 6. That's that face and this face. Which one is which? Let's see. 5 and 6 are both washes. I think it doesn't matter, that looks okay on there. 5 is the lighter one, so let's put it on the block that has a few defects. Well, that'll go there. That's number 5, this is number 5. And then this last one will be, looks good. This last one will be number 6. Okay, there we go. Let's do this. Number 5. Again, this is a double job. I don't know if Jed's watching still here or whatever. This is the block that's going to have the actual wood grain. Now I can't draw the wood grain here. We're going to take the wood grain from Jed's Photoshop file. But I can't paste Jed's Photoshop information here, because we've got other areas, and in fact the whole thing. We need to know how to get to the borders here. The block has to be cut exactly to the borderlines. And if I just take Jed's original Photoshop file here, that's different, because these border lines are lines that we cut with our knife, not that came from Photoshop information. So step 1 for this will be paste this down and cut the overall gross shapes. Cut the shape of this card, the whole wooden card. Then when that's clear and all these lines are cut perfectly right to the lines, then on top of that stage 1 carved block, we will then paste his Photoshop information that has wood grain, and then we will cut the wood grain. So all of these things that have patterns, this wood grain, this cat's kimono, we're not doing this yet. We will cut the rough shape of the area first, and then we'll put the Photoshop information from Jed. If Jed was here, it would be different. He could sit here with this sheet of paper, get his brush, and he could draw the grain lines, if he's capable of it, whatever. The point being, that's the artist's job, is to get the patterns onto these blocks. He would then draw it. I'd say, thank you, Jed. We'd paste it down and we'd carve it. But I'm here and he's there, so that's not the way this works. So we'll do it instead on 2 stages. Cut the shapes first, and then put the patterns on. I can't oil her shutter because it needs to be oiled when it's open and unrolled. You oil in the grooves. And also you would never ever do something like that. My God. You can't muck with somebody else's stuff. And there's no way we can say anything to her about it. It's just, whatever. Neighborly relations, if I said something to her, here, could you oil it? Because it's a bit noisy. That's it. She'd never speak to me again. because you've insulted somebody, You just can't do that. Bullying the artist, am I? I'm not bullying the artist, I'm describing how we are doing this. Today might be an interesting day here. We've got 3 staff coming, even though it's very light. We're in the winter slump now with not so many tourists here. It's still okay for us. The shop is still, quote, busy, unquote, but not busy in mega busies, not like the sakura season or autumn season. The shop's busy. So anyway, we've got 3 staff coming today, plus me. Now, once I get this job done, and on the way, post it to Kawasaki-san. That's my job for today. So I have a plan today. One of the staff members today is Mori-san. You've met her a little bit, just once or twice. She just comes rushing by when she comes in. She's a newbie here. She's a trainee. She still isn't productive in any way, anything she's doing. And she's a bit of a... I wonder if she's listening. I don't think so. She's an interesting one for me because she has experience at working with a large Japanese company. In fact, that's where she's working now. She just comes to us on weekends, now and then, 1 or 2 weekends per month. But she has a lot of experience working with a large company, a company that is stable and organized, has been for many, many, many years. In other words, she has business experience, corporate business experience, and she works. I think she works fairly up in that company. She's not a line worker or something. What I'm getting at is that we're struggling sometimes. We're struggling all the time with the organization of our business, with how to use my time, with how to organize this, with how to schedule things, with how to do things. And I'm thinking that she may have, in her background experience from her other job, she may have a lot of experience that's perhaps useful for us. So I don't know. So what I'm going to do is, because we've got 3 staff today and not so many parties and it looks light, I think I'm going to grab her in the morning and take her across the street to the coffee shop and sit and talk to her about some of those things and see if she has the kind of experience that might be useful to us in a way that she and I haven't discussed yet. At the moment, she's here just sort of to help with print parties and to learn about the shop and stuff like that. So I want to sort of pick her brains. It might not even be that she herself could be useful to us, but if she, with her experience of her big company and stuff over there, could perhaps help me identify somebody in there who, one, has good experience, the kind of knowledge, executive experience knowledge that we need, and who is perhaps not so happy over in that company. It's kind of a semi-fantasy that I've had for a long time. We should be able to scoop a good, sharp woman from some Japanese corporation. A woman that feels she's being held back by the Japanese business climate over there, but who is really smart. I just kind of had the idea that there should be such a person out there somewhere who could help take over this place as far as the management goes. Because Cameron and I are both, we're buried in line work. Neither of us are doing any wider management work. You guys have heard me talk about this before. We need to open our tool business. We need to get the cookie thing running. We need to get our gallery upstairs running. We need to get some other projects running, things I haven't talked about. There's lots and lots and lots of projects that we want to do. But all of us here are buried in the line work, the daily activities. I'm thinking with our revenue now and our Patreon support still there, we may be able to afford to get somebody at the next level. If we can identify the person who could do those sort of jobs for us. Help manage the company at the top end. help me manage my time, and help us make this transition, you know, from being the one-man show to being a real organization. It's not going to happen unless I find a person. I might be a bit on the dry side with that paste. I'm not sure. As usual, if I talk too much, that's right. Blame it on me. Dave goes out on a date. Yeah, date. Last time I had a date would have been half a century ago. I don't know what the word means. Here we go. This is an edgy peel. I've tried to peel a bit too much here. Let's see. I think I'm okay. Let's go. Yoish, yoish. I like this new Gumpy paper. I'm going to take a note of this, and I'm going to try and get some more right now. I am liking this Gumpy. Look at that. My God, perfect, perfect. I don't even need to look at the scores. Perfect, just they're perfect. We are having a good day. Okay, what's this? Number 8, 6. This is not the best piece of wood. Not the best piece of wood at all. Let's see, Anthony, am I okay here? It's all right. What did I say? I was going to have to keep away from this spot. So this one, I can't use my little thingamajig here. We're going to cut this by hand. Almost straight. Buy lottery tickets like I do that, not. Check. And looks good. Down she goes. Yeah, we need printers. I've got my notes that I've got this morning for a possible discussion with this lady, and if the discussion does go in that direction, I've got my notes about the things, and printers, starting a new batch of printers. It's number 1 on my list before the tools, before the cookies, before the book, before the gallery, before the other things that are going on. Number 1 is we've got to establish a system for training more printers. Because if I don't do that, everything else is done. Everything else is out. And you've seen it. I've got the graph ready here. I just pop it up again for those of you who haven't seen it. The growth here. This is our growth the last 2 years, and it was only possible because we could make prints. We can't do that again this year because we don't make enough prints. We need to get more printers started because without that we can't go anywhere. So it's number one on the things to talk about for managing, running, expanding, stabilizing this business. More printers. This is the part that came off. It's a print. Good, and the knot, the bad knot, is right there, outside of the kimono area. And the other bad knot is here and here. So we got it placed, we're okay. But to make sure we miss that, I had to bring the registration marks back. The printers will understand, they know what I've done there. They'll understand. Okay, that's 6 phases out of 8. 2 more left. Number 6 and number 7. Look at this, nice wood. This is a bit thicker than it should be. What we've been doing, when we're making these blocks, we've got them planed down. We normally would put about a 6mm piece on, giving us enough room to dress it and dress it and dress it. And what happened here, this was really nice and smooth, so it dressed smooth and flat without having to use the extra. So it's ended up a bit thicker than it should be, but that is not a problem. I also noticed now, it's actually a defect right there, so I should be careful. Did I notice that before? Maybe not. This is 6, this is 7. Where is that going to fall? No, not good. It's in his bandana. That is not good. I may have made a mistake. Let's see. If I switch it around this way. Now it's clear. How about this? Totally okay, totally okay. I think it's better rather than that corner. No. Let's use this corner, 7. Good to go. Are all of these color blocks, are these all the color blocks for the print? No, I said there's one missing. We haven't got the metallic pattern. There's a metallic gold pattern on here, kimono, and that's not accounted for yet. And I will either have to, it's possible I'll be able to find an empty space in one corner to use for it, or more likely I'll just have to get another piece of wood. And it's okay because, as I said, I'm still not 100% sure this particular color breakdown is going to work. So it's quite possible we will need to either toss one of these blocks and try again with a different breakdown, or I bring in another block. So I don't know yet. too much. No 10 out of 10 peeling. Not a 10 out of 10. See the dark spot here? Or the one layer stayed behind here. Okay. One left. No defects, just drop her down. Number six. What's our time? 9:15. It's worked perfectly today. I don't believe it. I just get my job done in exactly the right time for a stream before we open the shop. Very nice. A bunch of years back, it was early 2000s somewhere, nearly 20 years ago. I was over in Vancouver, BC, visiting a workshop. A then friend of mine, he had a teaching system where he had a summer camp. People came to his bed and breakfast, they stayed there, and he ran woodblock making sessions. It was a cool thing. This was years and years ago. He maybe still does it now, I don't know, no idea, he's probably retired. Anyway, I was over there visiting this, he called it a boot camp. I was over there visiting one year. And one thing that we did while we were chatting with the people there was I was doing this process for the current print that I was making. And somebody said, wow, that's cool. The paper left on the woodblock is so thin. Somebody's made this comment now. The paper left behind is so thin, it's real cool. And what we did was I showed them something cool. I took a piece of our normal printing paper, not the Gumby paper. I took a normal woodblock print that I had just finished, and I put this same glue on the block that you see now. And I took a finished woodblock print, and I pasted it face down on like this, and I rubbed it from the back. This was not Gumby paper. This was the normal Hosho paper that we use to make woodblock prints. I pasted it on and rubbed it from the back, and I waited a couple of minutes till it had sort of dried and stabilized. And then I did the same thing that you've seen me doing just now. I peeled up from the back, and a whole bunch of stuff came off, because this was thick, luscious Hosho paper. And we didn't even do it, couldn't come in one peel. I peeled off a bunch, then it looked like there was some still more, so I rubbed a bit more, peeled off, rubbed here and there, rubbed here and there, rubbed here and there. And I kept peeling and peeling until it looked kind of like what you see here. Except it wasn't a transfer sheet, it was a finished woodblock print. And then we took the piece of wood and I threw it in the bathtub, threw it in a bucket, underwater for 5, 10, 15 minutes. And that soaked the glue. And the finished print floated up off the wood. We took the wood out, we got a support, something, pulled up that thin sheet of paper, let it dry, and we had the thinnest woodblock print you have ever seen. It was insane, just absolutely insane. The Hosho paper is so, lights on, 1, 2, 3, fire up. This is Kawai-san, I guess, coming in, yeah. We had the thinnest woodblock print you've ever seen. We did it with a bunch of prints just for fun. And you can really mess with your head, because you see that finished print just pass through. Here, have a look at one of my woodblock prints. The person will look at it and like, oh my God, how did you do this? And it looked, it just looks impossible. It looks absolutely impossible. I've got them somewhere in a drawer. I did a bunch of them. We were chatting about it and trying with a bunch of different prints. I've got them in a drawer somewhere in Ome. And they are just insane. When you look at them, you cannot possibly comprehend how they were made. Somebody there's from Vancouver. So. I'll be over there next month, a few weeks from now. I'm going in February to visit my mother and my daughters and my grandchildren. 3 grandchildren now. My God, they're breeding them. Okay, here's the last one for the day. It's going quite stable today. We've got a good strong gumpy. This new gumpy. I better make note of where we got it and try and get some more.そう今ちょっと落としたんですから、good, thank you. Thank you. はい。何分前10時のパーティーの予約入ってます。一人向こう側のホテルに泊まっている方です。男性一人ですから多分簡単なパーティーです。はい。おはようございます。モーニングモーニング。昨日遅くなるまで申し訳ないですが、ダブルシフトでしょ。仕事と
昨日は昨日の話
そうだから遅くまで申し訳ない。
昨日あれ3だけです。
そうかパーティーじゃない上だけで。10時は1人です。そう昨日か先日ホテルに入った時この店もちょっと顔出したんですが、夜の間にようやく。Same place as last time. Let's try it again. I'm not sure. I'm missing a ton of the conversation here, so I'm sorry I can't see all the questions or answer all the questions. Or what have we got here? Let's try it again. Do you think your great wave print I have would be able to replicate a thin woodblock print? I'm not sure what you're asking. I'm not sure what you're asking. I'm sorry. Could I take my great wave, paste it on and peel it off? Yes, I could, but remember, there's no guarantee with any of this. It works sometimes, and sometimes if you make a bit of a mistake, peel too much, it's not perfect. So I wouldn't do it with all the prints. Okay, let's have a check of what we've done here. And these blocks are now going to dry off, and they're going to go to Kawasaki-san, our printer in Kobe, and she is standing by to get busy. So here we go. We've got 4 blocks. The original key block is still here. This is the key block 1 and key block 2. There's a bunch of thin lines on the block that need to be lighter. So this is the basic block set now to make this print. As I said, there's probably one more block coming which will have the gold patterns on her kimono, plus something else I might have forgotten or that might need changing or whatever. I can't tell at this point. But this is the basic block set for the run up to this print. Let's pop up the image again and try and run through and see what they are. Okay, let's just go through them one by one. This block here will do a base yellow tone. It'll be under almost the entire surface of the print. You can see up here, see the little things that are toned out, see the lettering. This is how that lettering is going to be created, by the difference between this block and one of the subsequent blocks. So this is a base pale yellow tone under almost the entire surface. It'll be on the cart. You might be able to see it. It'll be the base yellow of the cart. What's next? This is a print. It's going to do the top left cartouche. It'll do the purple for her kimono, and it'll be a base block on which we will do a gradation coming up from the bottom. You can see it there. It's a black gradation, but it doesn't cover the cartouche area, which is going to be carved out here. That's that piece of wood. Next piece of wood, what's this? This is going to be the block that does the deepest, darkest outside area. Around his feet, behind the left cartouche, behind the people, outside the curtain, behind the stool. This is going to be the darkest block. This block is, let me think about what this might be. This is one of the red tones. It's going to do the curtains and stuff. It'll be the red tone at the base of the server's kimono. It's going to do the lanterns. And again, more still for the outside area. What's this one? This is going to be the basic blues on the two male cats, and the blue of the guy's server's stripes. Those are all different tones in the finished print. That's because stuff gets overlaid. This is a basic blue. The cartouche is down here. It'll be printed in a different color. It'll be rubbed with a brush that has some purplish light blue pigment on. And in fact, that's not going to overlay anything. The color you see in the finished print will have to be rubbed onto this area of the block. This one is going to be one of the other overlays. It overlays part of this might be the wood grain. Yes, this is eventually going to be wood grain. It's part of the cat's color overlays, part of the lantern shadows, wood on the stool, stuff like that. Last piece of wood. This is another overlay. This is going to be a red tone, red-brown tone. It'll be chopped out later to show the kimono pattern on the server. Mori-san, good morning. Hello, 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 hello. And what have we got here? This is another, what is this? I don't know, another one of those red-brown tones, just building up over the, yeah, this is the thing that turns his blue kimono into a deep purple kimono, so it's a reddish blue block. I can't remember even what I did. Anyway, there's our basic block set. As I said, they're now going to go into a box, ship to Kobe, and she will get them tomorrow. Okay, gang, I'm out of here. I've got a ton of work to do here today. We've got a full day in the shop, lots of helpers, so I've got lots of other work I can do. Tomorrow, what's tomorrow's stream going to be? Today's Saturday. Tomorrow there will be a stream. Sunday. Maybe. I've got a maybe. There might be no stream tomorrow. Why? Because I think I have to make a quick trip to Ome tonight and tomorrow morning, getting back tomorrow morning while the shop is open. I've got to go get some boxwood for a project that I haven't actually told you about. It could be, heads up, it could be there'll be no stream tomorrow. I'll make my decision this afternoon and I'll post on the Twitch page to explain what's going on. So Sunday, Tokyo time, may not have a stream. If that's the case, there will definitely be a stream Monday morning. So stand by for a possible change in the schedule this week. I'll let you know by later this afternoon. If I don't post anything, we'll have a normal stream. If I do post, it'll say, no stream Sunday morning. Sorry, I'll be back one day later. Okay, thanks guys. I'll see you later. I got a lot of work done today. Thank you very much for not bothering me too much. Okay, bye-bye. See you soon.